Here.
Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take. How your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get to our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Sgt Bob Conklin is in the house, Anaheim Police Department and Cops for Kids. Welcome.
Good morning, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You got to love this celebration of the day. National Consignment Day. Yeah, that's not very exciting. National Child Health Day. We can celebrate that one. We got to celebrate our inner beauty today. Just saying. National Frap Day. And having beaten anorexia, I think I'm going to stick with National Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. state of confusion. Just throw that out there for you. It's a little crazy what's going on in the gas world. We're about $2 a gallon higher than some other areas around the country. $2 a gallon. Yeah, that can become a little bit painful. Let's check and see if I can get my computer to work for me this morning. We'll see where the national averages are. We'll take a look for you and give you an idea of where the cheapest gas is in the land. I like watching that just because sometimes it fascinates me how we can have higher gas prices in the state of confusion as compared to like Hawaii at 367.9. Think about this one. Are you ready for this? There hasn't been this big a spread that I know of ever. In Hawaii, you get gasoline at $3.67.9 a gallon. That's the average for the state. Now, I know that they produce a lot of gasoline there. Have you seen the refineries? Oh, no, that's sugar refineries they have there. Coffee refineries. They've got some pineapple. There's some refineries that we don't talk about there. But now we're in California. $4.18 is the average for the state. $4.18. Thank you, Governor Newsom. $265.3 is the national average. So we're going crazy here in the state of confusion on gasoline prices. If you want the lowest prices in the land, Louisiana, $227.9. What's that? About $1.90 a gallon less than we're paying right here in Taxifornia. Unbelievable how that can continue going on, but we just watch it. We just have to keep on living with it as long as we keep on voting for the same people. What did they say the definition of insanity is, right? Vote for the same people, hope for a different result. Is that the thought process here? Just throw that out there. Maybe recalls. I'm not a big fan of recalls, but was it Gray Davis that got recalled over the gas prices? Maybe we can do the same thing with Newsom. What do you think? Give me your opinions. Hey, we've got this new system here, and I don't know if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, but we can actually bring on comments. If you make a comment online, I can actually review them first for quality control, and then we can bring them on. So if you'll see, I've got a message here from Canyon superfan Mitchell. It's going to come up here, I think, in just a minute. I don't know what the delay is on this thing, but it does have quite a significant delay. So if you've got some comments, you can actually make comments now on the broadcast. Alex, I'm looking for you there, buddy. And we can see what they are. Jay, don't you give me any comments because I know what yours are going to come in as. I've seen many of them. Let's take a look at what's going. There it is. It took a little while, but we did get the comment from Mitchell. Let's take a look at what's going on in the morning briefing today. Turkey announces an incursion of northeast Syria. Kurds vow all-out war as U.S. troops are moved out of the area. Fascinating that maybe it's not going to be our young men and women that are going to be the ones involved in a war out there. President Trump calls for Pelosi and Schiff impeachment over whistleblower actions. And I shared this one over the weekend. Now, we know that Adam Schiff was involved in the first whistleblower action, that he had access to the report before it went public. I'm wondering if Jerry Nadler was involved in the second one. I just throw that out there as a question mark. I wonder if it's going to happen. The House Democrats, though, believe they have enough votes to pass articles of impeachment. Do you think it will ever come to a vote? My bet is no, because they don't want to put themselves on record, especially the 40-some that won election. You know, you have to understand when you're dealing with politicians, regardless of what your opinion is of the politician, they all have one goal in mind and one goal only: re-election. They really don't care about you. They don't care about me. Their goal is, how do they get reelected? What is it going to take to get reelected? They have to spend half their time going out there trying to raise money. So do you think that they're going to really want to put themselves at a vote? I don't think we're going to see any vote here. I don't think anybody wants to go on the record. Lindsey Graham says that they are going to have a public hearing with the whistleblowers. I wonder if, I don't know about that. And I'm certainly, there's a benefit to whistleblowers all over. But with what's going on in politics in Washington right now, are you getting tired of hearing about Washington, D.C.? I know many people are.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I got a bad feeling about it too, just saying out there. Hey, what's going on in the GM UAW talks? I think they've got a big problem in this now where there are some of the union leaders that are actually find themselves being indicted. You got to wonder about that one. That's going to be fascinating. The Supreme Court kicks off their agenda today. So they've got the new term. It begins today. 5-4 conservative majority could be poised to provide the White House with significant legal and political victories or setbacks. We'll let you know about those. I'll give you all of them.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, we will give you the truth. You're going to hear it all right here on Ron Siegel Radio. We will chat about them. Hey, did you go see the Joker movie this weekend? I found it fascinating. I heard one of the producers or producing company come out with a commentary that they can't do comedies anymore because they're not politically correct. So they came out with this Joker movie. I don't write this stuff. I just share it, but that's the commentary that I just heard on one of the articles this morning. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, got an action-packed broadcast for you today. 62% of home buyers are wrong about the down payments requested. 6 things to know before you download the Steady Pay app. Are you even familiar with the Steady Pay app? So we're going to talk about that. And there is a great event coming up, and I'm going to share the information on this event. I never knew about this until last year. I went to it for the first time. I think it was third year. So I was at this for the first time last year, Anaheim Confidential. It's a great event. We're going to be talking about that one this morning as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and TRE number 0186945.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs. They've got the products. You've got the phone. Make the call. They will be able to help you. Our team is standing by all the time to give you the best information. What is happening in the mortgage market right now? I'm going to give you several tips right here, right now, because I always tell you about the S&P 500 and the 10-year Treasury that's so very low, the mortgage-backed securities, interest rates going down. But why are all these things happening? That's the reason that you tune in to Ron Siegel Radio. So here's the issue is we're seeing there's a lot of economic news coming out. There's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. We're going to see the consumer price index. That's going to tell us about inflation. That comes out later this week. The previous report showed core inflation at 2.4%, which was the highest reading in 11 years. Any additional information there could be bad for the bond market, which means interest rates could be going up. The Fed minutes from the September 18th meeting will be released this week. Always gives us an interesting look at the Fed's thoughts and reasoning for their rate cuts, as it was this time. Might give us some insight as to what might come up next time as well. The next Fed meeting or the Fed announcement will be the end of October. We're going to hear a lot from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell speaking 3 times this week, starting today at 1 o'clock Eastern time, right about the time that we end our broadcast. We're going to also get the Small Business Optimism Index come out on Tuesday, mortgage applications. Jerome Powell speaks on Wednesday, the 10-year note auction on Wednesday as well, 30-year bond auction Thursday. But here's the issue, and I'm going to share this with you. I've shared it with a lot of our private clients recently. Now is the time to be looking at restructuring, refinancing your home loan if it'll save you any kind of money. Now, I'm going to share an exact scenario with you. I like story time. So here's the scenario. I had a private client call me up on Friday, and he said, Ron, I've got a 4.5% interest rate. I bought my house about 10 months ago, which we understand the way the rates are because about a year ago, interest rates were at 4.71. So he's actually paying 4.75. He said, I was looking at the rates and I saw them go down to about 3.56 and I wanted them to go to 3.5. And I said, for 0.6 of a point, you waited. He said, yeah, I think it's going to go there. I said, okay, well, that's good. Now it's at 3.65. So now you're even further away. But I'm going to give you a piece of advice. I'm going to tell you that even though you qualify for a 3.70 interest rate based on your unique situation, I'm going to recommend you getting a 3.8 interest rate. He said, Ron, why would you recommend I take a higher interest rate than the interest rate that I qualify for? And I said, but here's the answer to that. I said, at 3.8, you can get a lender credit to make your loan process totally free. Now, if interest rates go down as far as I forecast, they will go down, and many of the people I follow forecast they're going to go down by the end of 2020, you're not going to have a problem with us talking again and saying, let's do it again for free, because I don't know anybody that's going to save you $300 a month for a bunch of autographs. I don't even get paid that much money for autographs. I don't get paid any money for autographs, right? So take the money and run and don't be worried about it next time. Now, what happens if it goes just like it did to you on September 12th when you were waiting for that 3.56 to go to 3.50, and now we're talking about 3.70? Rates are like gas prices. They go up a lot faster than they're going to go down. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star, they've got the programs, they've got the products. You give me a call. We'll take care of getting that taken care of for you. Let's chat today. We're going to get this education time because there's a lot of people that have misconceptions or no conceptions. So we want to talk today. We're talking this morning, actually. Sgt Bob Conklin, Anaheim Police Department, and talking about cops for kids. It's a fun topic, right? I mean, especially in this day and age where there's my opinion, a lot of screwballs in the media, right? Telling people a lot of misinformation. And you've got this program that you shared a little bit at one of our recent meetings about what Cops for Kids is. So first off, welcome.
Good morning.
Right? Tell us a little bit about Cops for Kids and what it is and what the mission is.
Cops for Kids is a nonprofit that was started back in the 60s. It started out as a small search and rescue type entity to support the police department. Over the years, it's grown, it's expanded in a variety of ways to meet the needs of the community and what the community was interested in and the dynamics and the challenges that face the youth over time. Today, again, it's a nonprofit. We have 3 distinct programs ranging from 6th grade all the way until the age of 20. The idea here is to wrap our arms around these kids in the 6th grade and help support them and be there for peer support and help them through their successes, help them be successful in school, in their occupational choices, all the way through the age of 20. For the police department, from a selfish note, it helps us reduce the growth of the delinquent criminal pool that these kids could potentially end up in without a positive program, without positive role models such as these.
So what is there a specific demographic or neighborhoods that you're focused on, or do you have kids that are coming from all areas? Where's the population come from?
The city of Anaheim has 6 voting districts. We have kids from every district. Our marketing, our advertising is pretty limited right now. We have usually kids are coming from word of mouth.
Okay.
So Catella High School, Anaheim High School, out at the west end of Anaheim, even Canyon High School, Esperanza. We have a small population from several of the districts, amounting to what is about 100 kids in the Explorer program, about 60 kids in the Junior Cadet program, and we're looking to foster a 3rd program to help expand our influence into 7th and 8th grade. So
from what you're saying there, for what I'm hearing at least, is it sounds like the kids are it's actually a peer pressure in a positive direction.
Yes, and you've mentioned that before when we came on to talk about Anaheim Confidential. We are stressing leadership, especially in the middle age, the high school kids, stressing their power, their influence of leadership. We can only influence the police department in these relationships about 100 kids. That's really all we have staffing for. But if those 100 kids can influence 3 or 4 of their peer groups, to do the right thing, then we're going to have a rippling effect. And again, it just means success for the kids and less of a delinquent problem for the police department and society down the road.
My son, when he was in high school, had a football coach, and he said that if you really can influence like 10 people. When you're in a leadership position, police officers, maybe a radio guy that talks too much, or a football coach, you say, maybe we can do that 1,000 people. Right? If you've got this 100 or 160 people and kids in the program or young people in this program, and each one of them can influence 10, right? You've got 1,600 more people that are on the right track. They're on a positive track.
Yeah, and we all know the kids are going to listen to their peers. Teenage kids don't listen to us necessarily. You and I could say the same thing to my kids over and over again, and it won't really set in. But just one influential statement or action from a good friend, and all of a sudden they're back on the right path. We've corrected that behavior, and now we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, that's the beauty, and I think that was one of the things I was most excited about you coming on and talking about this, was the idea that it gives us an opportunity to put the kids on and even us. I mean, we're as adults, supposedly a little more seasoned, aged, right? We'll go and do things with our friends. Right now, I'm going to recommend. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about Anaheim Confidential today, a great event to help raise some money for these programs. They don't come for free, do they?
No, sir.
Right. They get a lot of volunteers. I think the police force, a lot of volunteers there.
Yes.
But it takes a lot of money to any kind of a program that's out there to try and promote good takes some money. Right. And I think that's what the idea here is with the event.
Yeah. So the event is fantastic because it brings residents, businesses, visitors to Anaheim, any stakeholders within the community. It brings them all together, and we're all charging in one direction for the same causes.
And that's the beauty. I think if we get more people going in the same direction, and we can, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the word, but ostracize the people that are trying to push our youth in the wrong direction, right? Get them isolated and out of the influence game.
Right. So, one of the things we hear on the radio a lot is, the impacts of vaping and smoking and everything else. Again, a very strong social concern. But again, if we can take the nearly 200 kids that we have weekly influence with and present the dangers of things like that, and they can share those influences with their friends, then we can have a very powerful impact.
Just one person talking to one, and I hope to do that over and over again. We're going to continue our conversation this morning, chatting more about Cops for Kids having a positive influence on the young people, and this event. We're going to talk in depth about Anaheim Confidential, November 8th. I went to this one last year. I had no clue what I was getting myself into. Had a great time and very, very fascinating. I highly encourage you to check out the information. I've got it. If you're on our social media channels, we're sharing it right now. So if you're going to go Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook, we're going to put it on all of our social medias today and throughout the week. I'll have the team do it. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, 62% of home buyers are wrong about down payment needs. 6 things you need to know before you download the Steady Pay app. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay will be available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. 1-800-306-1990 or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio, text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. NEST. If you already found your dream home, another free tool that we've just introduced from Ron Siegel Radio, text SLT Home Digest, SLT Home Digest, to 79564. You can find out what the county recorder knows about your property. You can also find out what the marketplace knows about your property. 62% of buyers are wrong about down payment needs. Contrary to common misconception, a down payment is often much less than many people believe. According to the 2019 Home Buyer Report conducted by NerdWallet, many first-time buyers still believe they need 20% down payment to buy a home in today's market. And I quote, more than 6 in 10, 62% Americans believe you must put at least 20% down in order to purchase a home, unquote. When potential home buyers think they need a 20% down payment to enter the market, they also tend to think they'll have to wait several years in some markets to come up with the necessary funds to buy their dream homes. The report continues. The truth, 32% of current U.S. homeowners put 5% or less down on their home, according to census data, and I shared the chart earlier today. The lack of knowledge about the home buying process is unfortunately keeping many motivated buyers on the sidelines. Don't let a lack of understanding keep you and your family out of the housing market. Let's chat about this. They're VA loans. It's the best loan on the market. We thank our veterans all the time. 0 down payment. Now, if you go to Lisa, if our veterans go to Lisa House, do you think you're going to get a 0 down payment when you go to lease? I don't think so. They're going to charge you probably a first month's rent, last month's rent, maybe a security deposit, but you can go and get that totally for free, no cost on those things. If you structure the loan the right way and you find the right property, give me a call, 800-306-1990. USDA loans, nothing down. VA loans, 3.5% down. Fannie Mae has some loans at 3% down. Bottom line, get in the game. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. We are chatting this morning. Sgt Bob Conklin is in the house, Anaheim Police Department, talking about Cops for Kids and a event. We've been talking a little bit about this event coming up, Anaheim Confidential. We're going to get into that hot and heavy in the next segment. But let's talk a little bit more about Cops for Kids, because I find some of these different programs. I like the break when we were talking, we were chatting about the idea that this can be a somewhat self-serving event too. right? You're out there helping others. And I think that any nonprofit organization, right? I do some work with Alzheimer's organization. I do some work with juvenile diabetes organization. We do some work with the breast cancer organizations. And you do a lot of these things because it's the right thing to do, right? But you also are hoping that if any of these issues come up for a loved one of yours, that the solutions are in place, right? So a lot of what we do has some personal benefits. Cops for Kids, if you can influence kids to be out there pushing their peers on the right path as opposed to the wrong path, that can be really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of these kids have social, educational, occupational challenges, things, some family situations that, many of us can't even fathom, and we won't know the depth or negative influence of. So what Cops for Kids does is it offers them an outlet of positive influences outside of the constant negative influences of gangs, drugs, social media, and the rest. So you have the Anaheim Police Department run by Chief George Cisneros, the Anaheim Fire Department Chief Pat Russell, our two officers in Cops for Kids, Ed Arevalo and Stacy Dietz. We all are moving in the same direction, hoping to influence these kids in a positive way. And again, the ultimate effect is the long-term impact that it has on their small social peer groups. I'm
going to throw a question at you, and I generally don't like to throw questions out that we haven't talked about, but do you see a increasing number of young people that want to get involved, or is it a stagnant number? Any idea there?
As far as, I'll tell you, our Explorer program has been a constant success for decades. More recently than ever, we basically are having to turn kids away and start a waiting list just by the word of mouth that these kids are communicating the successes that they're having. And that's really the whole point, is we want to bring in the police department, the community, all the stakeholders, and more importantly, the families to share in the successes of these kids. Whether or not these kids end up being employed by the police department down the road, which would be fantastic, but a lot of them go into the military or take a college route or whatever career they choose down the road. The bottom line is we want them to be successful, and we want to bring in everyone that is within their influence and cheerlead for their success. So that's what we try to do. Is we just started bringing in the families into these programs because we want them to share in the successes of their kids.
So I want to dig into one of the comments you made there, because it is a bit troubling to me. Why is there a waiting list? Is it because there's too many people that want the program, or not enough funding for the program, or a combination maybe?
It is definitely a combination of police resources. We have two officers that are basically mentoring nearly 200 kids on a weekly basis. So if you look at the effective, efficient ratio of teachers, therapy, doctors, that 1-to-30 ratio is right around where you want to be. That's the effective. Anything less, even better. But right now, we're trying to keep that ratio in that same realm, because if something happens in these kids' lives, we want to be able to notice. With too many kids, we're not going to notice, and we're not going to be able to help support them with whatever they're struggling with. But so it's a combination of staffing. Funding is always at the forefront. The other challenge that we have is our venue. Right now, it's at the police department, and we have a fantastic venue. Our training auditorium, it can hold about 120. But if we're looking to expand the Explorer program, or any of the programs, we're going to have to start thinking about what to do in the near future.
Interesting information there. So we're going to have to make a phone call or two to your local city council members and Mayor Sadu. We had talked to them about funding issues, right? They might be a little bit of help. Does the money for the Cops for Kids come from the city at all, or is it mostly from private citizens and donations?
Obviously, the salaries for the officers that run the program come from the city, and there is a small operating budget that we do have. But outside of that, it comes from donations, sponsors, and fundraising.
Okay, so we can work on two of those. I can't help you too much on the idea of the officer resources, but we can talk to. We do have conversations on a regular basis with some of our city council members and our mayor, so we can have conversations there. And we have conversations with you on a regular basis, right? You can help out. We're looking at our community, and we got this big, we're broadcasting this morning from an office right near Canyon High School, and put a lot of resources into the building there and to help the kids in that way. This looks like it's something that's going to help the kids long term. I mean, and education is great too. It's very, very important.
Right, and that's the thing is with these programs, we are working side by side, parallel to the schools. We come in and give presentations, again, advertising the programs. But if you look at, for example, the model that we're using now, we start in 6th grade, and we follow these kids all the way until they turn 21 when they age out. So you're looking at, I mean, my math is off, but 7 to 8 years of these kids' lives, some of the most influential adolescent years of their lives. And we have that influence on them throughout the entire time.
Do you get many of the graduates of the program coming back to be mentors?
They do. The ones that have joined the military, they come back when they can on leave. We have one gentleman who became an EMT. He's just now starting to come back. And one thing that our youth has a difficulty with today is public speaking. And so they do get regular public speaking opportunities within the Explore programs and the other 2 programs. So when they do come back and they talk to us, I mean, you got to figure it's got to be uncomfortable for any of us.
Sure. To
stand in front of an auditorium with 100+ people and talk about anything. But they do, and they are actually very, very eloquent in the way they speak. And it sounds like they've been doing it for years.
Sounds great, because a lot of times, I mean, we've talked about this many different issues. So I've had many veterans come on the broadcast, and they'll be the first to say, "Hey, Ron, you can't talk to a veteran the same way a veteran can talk to a veteran, right? Because it's a level of been there, done that type of thing." Right. So some of these youth that come back, they've gone through the program. They can explain what that program meant to them better than somebody who's teaching the program, who's got a vision of what they want from the program.
Yeah, exactly. And we want to be able to demonstrate to the kids that are currently in the program that the variety and levels of success as a result, which I hope are a result, or at least a large part due to the programs, that it will help them be successful in whatever they choose to do.
Great information. We're going to talk about this event that's coming up, because I want you to understand what it is, and more importantly, what it means for the community, means for you. We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We'll also chat about things to know before you download the Steady Pay app. Do you even know what the Steady Pay app is? We're going to talk about that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502. And Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Jeff Sipes and his team at Blue Water Credit help you get your credit report corrected so that you don't have the errors on there. When the errors are removed in many instances, in most instances, you're going to see your credit scores increase. The Steady Pay app, things to know before you download the app. Do you know what it is? Easy for me to say. Some of you might see it as a replacement for the defunct Debitize app. Steady Pay is a free app that offers the chance to use credit cards for their rewards with the confidence that you'll have the money on hand to pay the balance off each month. Their website says, quote, credit card perks, none of the stress, unquote. I don't know if my wife got a hold of it. I might still have the stress. Of course, that comes with a couple important security caveats that involve a third party both having access to your accounts and holding your money in an FDIC insured account. What could go wrong there? We'll review the Steady app as I speak a little bit. What is it? How does it work? Basically, you spend the money on your credit card that is attached to the app, pulls the money and sets it aside so that there are payments, there is money available for you. The major benefits: how about working like a debit card but not using the debit card? I've told you many times, do not use a debit card. You can go to Square. They've got a Cash App. You can actually put money on the app right yourself. Then you can use that as your credit card or debit card, but it limits the amount. I can show you if I had a good camera right here. I could show you right now that I've probably got about 11 cents on my Cash App. Right? But if I want to go and buy something on it, I push another button. I guess, wow, $41. Something hasn't come through. But generally, the bottom line is if I go and buy something on it, I'm giving them that card. They don't have access to take things from my account that I don't want taken out of the account. Obviously, security risks. Well, we know the one already went bankrupt. What happens if this one does? There is bank level encryption on it. Never, ever send a credit card company, a copy of your Social Security card. Not a good reason for it. Where do they hold your money? Can you get it back? They're going to be monitoring your credit purchases. The money is transferred via ACH transaction into an FDIC insured account, owned and managed by Steady Pay. Does Steady Pay help increase your credit score? Well, the ActU app, being that it's paying your cards off, it's going to help. But if you pay your cards the wrong way, which most people do, I think there might be a problem there. Remember, make 2 payments to your credit card at all times. Every month, you're going to make 2 payments. That's the Your Credit Matters segment, again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, Jeff Sipes, and the team can help you out with that. Let's chat further. We're going to talk now. We've talked a bit about cops for kids. And to me, as you know, if you've listened to my broadcast any length of time, you know that I am a big fan of our first responders, big supporter of our first responders. I think they do a great job for us with very, very little credit, and especially in the media nowadays, they get harassed for maybe a few bad apples, but doesn't every industry have a few? I would say 99.9% of our law enforcement officers are great men and women who would really be great mentors for kids. And we've been talking about this Cops for Kids program. And we chatted a little bit about, what do they need? I mean, they've got 160 youth. Anaheim's got, last time I looked, about 320,000 people.
Yeah, they were up to about 360, 370 something. Yeah.
360, 370. If you say, half of them are kids, right? So we've got 150,000 kids that are out there that need positive mentors. And it could be police officers, it could be clergy, it could be mom and dad, teachers. Our first responders are great men and women out there doing a great service. And I just think that as the citizens of any community, we have to be out there having their back. I mean, they're out when you want something, when there's an emergency, who are you calling? Right? You're calling a first responder, depending upon what the need is. So when there's a need out there, you get events, and they're going out there donating time for something like this, right? We as a community have to be standing up too.
Yeah, the Explorers, for example, are amazing. If you look at our 80 to 90 community events that the Explorers help us man over the years, every year, you're looking at an average of 5-6 Explorers per event. Whereas we would otherwise have to staff that event with a police officer. They are saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in volunteer hours.
And I think I don't know anything. I just am a local radio host that goes to a lot of events, and I can't think of any events I ever go to at the convention center, at the stadium, at the pond. I get Honda Center. I can still call it the Pond. I'm old. Right, you almost always see Explorers. When we have our event here in Anaheim Hills for July 4th, there's always there's always Explorers there. Right?
Yeah, right. National Night Out, 4th of July Parade, the annual Wand Barbecue. If there's an annual event, there are Anaheim Police Explorers there or behind the scenes supporting the event.
So let's talk about this. Speaking of events, Anaheim Confidential. What is it? Tell us a little bit about it.
Anaheim Confidential started 3 years ago. Bottom line is, it is the fundraiser for the year to help support the Cops for Kids programs. It is a live presentation. The detectives, the homicide detectives that actually work the case, are on the stage and giving us a first-hand insight into actually what transpired. Everything from the horrific violent crime that started the investigation all the way until the resulting prosecution.
It's fascinating that I went to the one last year, and I think it was 2 hours of presentation time. And I think it was also on a 48 hours or a 2020 or one of those TV shows that they show it in that gets solved in about 30 minutes.
Yes.
That's not quite the way it works.
No, no. A significant amount of time and resources is put into this, and again, it's not only a fundraiser for the Cops for Kids programs, but it's also a a great platform for the police department to demonstrate and remind the community of how effective and efficient and professional our police officers and detectives are that are working these cases.
We need to get more media at these events so they can promote the idea that the police officers are doing a great job. And what we see is, and you know, I have a great admiration for our PIO here in Anaheim, but that's just a 30-second snippet or a press conference or something. There's a lot of hours that go from this event is a double homicide that goes from the events all the way to conclusion. It takes a lot of work to get that done.
Yeah, and this particular case, there was a lot of multi-jurisdictional help to actually capture the suspect. I'm not going to get into too many of the details. You'll have to come and learn for yourself. But it is a remarkable.
You're made for radio, so you get the T's in there and everything.
No, this is your fault.
So you got to come to this event. I'm looking at the event, November 8th.
Yes, Friday, November 8th, 5 to 7 p.m. The best part about this is it's $37. I can't go to the movies and buy snacks and popcorn for less than $37 per person. This is all-inclusive, all-you-can-eat, dinner, beer, wine. Should we say beer and wine again? Dinner, beer, wine, parking, silent auction, and the feature presentation for $37. It's 100% of the proceeds goes to the Cost for Kids programs. And this year we formed a partnership with the Orange County Homicide Investigators Association. So some of the fundraising is going to allow them to monetarily help the victims of violent crimes and their families throughout Orange County. So
$37 a person. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, you can see along the bottom of the screen, we've got a setup to the link to buy tickets, mbelinks.com/cops for kids, the numeral 4, cops for kids. Use promo code RON1700, RON1700. $37, dinner, drink. Heck, I can't go across the street to Reunion, one of my favorite restaurants. It's going to cost me double that per person.
Yes.
And I don't get the 2 hours of event time, and I don't get to help out for a great cause.
Yes, sir.
Right, so you get a multi-facet. Now, there is no problem if somebody wants to come and spend a little more money.
Absolutely.
Right, that's allowable.
Right, donation, silent auction opportunity, yes.
So that's all there. I must admit that last year there were tickets for the Rams, there were tickets for the Ducks. I think I partake in have a little bit of cocktails there, the beer and wine, then go bid. Right, that way your pen gets a little heavier down the road. That's acceptable.
Yes, absolutely.
Then sit there for 2 hours. Make sure Uber will work that night, so we don't want anybody getting having too much to drink and driving afterwards. So it is Uber friendly, right?
Yes,
not a problem there. So again, Cops for Kids. It's Anaheim Confidential, November 8th. Where's it at?
The River Arena, 201 East Broadway, 201 East Broadway in Anaheim. On the weekends, this venue is fantastic. On the weekend, it serves as a church, but the owner and the pastor there have opened their arms to us and allow us to host this event there.
Beautiful. So let's go. Let's get out there. We're going to be there. We're going to bring a nice group from listeners of Ron Siegel Radio. So make sure you come and join us. Say hello if you're there. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for joining us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you want to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.